Hey everyone, it's Mari. I'm here with another scrapbooking process video today, and I'm going to be scrapping a photograph of my son Jordan. I'm going to be mostly using the Crepe Paper Wonder collection, and I'm going to be using a few other pieces from other collections mixed in here and there. So this piece that I'm adding on to the layout right now is from Amy Tan Rise and Shine, and I think this particular gray piece is called Ella. And I'm just going to work on creating a base for this layout using that gray paper on that on top of that Crepe Paper Wonder collection piece. And I actually got the inspiration for how I put the papers down onto the layout from a pin on Pinterest of a Chamel layout. And so that was I can't remember if it was a sketch or if it was actually a picture of how she had her papers on the page. But anyways, this is how I'm going to be building my layers. So I'm just going to be taking some different chunks of these papers in different sizes and just kind of layering them until I get a base for the layouts. This is actually a really good way to start to kind of then figure out how those pieces of paper are going to fit together, and then the embellishments that are going to go on top to complement the layout. So I just wanted to use a variety of kind of more masculine colors in this layout. So I'm using grays and blacks, yellow, red, and teal, I think are the main that's the main color palette that I'm going to be using. So you can see that I'm just creating that base, and like I said, the main papers there were from that sketch or that image. So I'm just going to make a cluster below the photograph there, kind of in a diagonal, and with that B as the focus, and then going from there using some other shapes and pieces of ephemera bits down below. So I've got those stuck down, and I'm just going to take and rough up the edges of the paper a little bit. And that navy blue paper is Heidi Swap. It's from maybe the September Skies collection from a while back. And I'm just going to, now I think I'm going to take my Pigma pen, and I'm going to put some lines around the edges of the paper. And that's just to add a little bit of extra detail, just because I thought it kind of looked a little bit plain. And that was one of the other reasons why I roughed up the edges of the cardstock or the pattern paper a little bit too, just because it'll just give it a little bit more structure. It just adds a little bit of interest to the paper and to the layers. So I'm just going to add those lines, just really messy lines, and that will just create that extra detail there. So I just put a piece of paper down underneath that just in case I go off the paper, because I didn't want to get the ink on my table. So I'm just going to finish up with some more of that detail and stick things down a little bit more, because apparently I forgot to do that. And yeah, so then I'm just going to continue to add some, I think just some ephemera bits and pieces here and there in those clusters. So this picture of my son is a photograph of this summer when they went up north to we have a cabin in a really remote area up north, and the guys like to go up there in the summer for fishing trips. And so they went up, and the bugs were really bad, and Jordan got covered with bug bites, and he actually reacts quite severely to even just mosquito bites. And so I took a picture of his arms that day, and he was a good sport. He let me do that, and we had a conversation about how when he was little, it was the same scenario. He'd get these bug bites, and they'd be just welts all over him, and he'd kind of go nuts with being itchy from the bites. So I feel sorry for him. It's not a very good situation in the summer in Saskatchewan, considering the fact that we often have a lot of mosquitoes. So the mat that I'm going to be using for behind that photograph is just a variety of papers from the Wonder Collection 6x6 pad, and I just took them and just kind of ripped them and added just little bits and pieces behind the photograph just to create an interesting layer behind the photograph. And I think I actually stick those down off camera and I end up popping Jordan's photograph up with some foam tape so that it just lifts it up off the layout a little bit. So I'm just going to continue fussing with that, and then pretty quick here we're going to see that I'll have that all stuck down. And I wanted to add a little bit of yellow up there too, just to carry the yellow to the top of the layout, because I've got it in a couple of other spots there as well. So I'm just going to finish that up. I think I've got the rest of that stuck down now, and just finish creating that mat there. This is really, really super easy to do. It's not difficult. Lots of times I just end up tearing the paper, and it's super simple. And you can see that it does add just a really nice texture around that photograph and makes it look just a little bit more interesting. Now I wanted to use that bee that was on that ephemera piece from the Wonder Collection. I wanted to use that bee for the first letter of the word bug, and I kind of thought maybe I would use these cork letters, but I got them on there and I didn't really like the color. And so I kind of went looking through my stash for some other thickers, and I think I ended up using, I ended up using some white and silver ones, and I think they might be Amy Tan. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. And so these thickers, these black ones, are some of my very most favorite thickers, and I have absolutely no E's left in. I have either 2 or 3 packs of them that are partially used, and I do not have 1 E left in the bunch. So I end up using an F, and I cut a little piece off of an X to create the last little bit of the letter E. So there you can see that I've used the white letters for bug, and then the black thickers for bites. Now I've decided that I want to add another little cluster up in that top corner of the photograph to the right of the picture, just because I felt like it was really bare. So I'm just going to add another little cluster up there using some of the little bits and pieces from the 6x6 pad. So I just there was a cut apart sheet in that little 6x6 pad, and I just used some of those pieces there. And I've got a wood button from Chamel, and there's I think that's one of the stickers from one of the sticker sheets that I got in the Wonder Collection. And I'm just going to stick that down, put some glue on it just to make sure that it stays really super stuck. And I'm just going to add some lines to the right of that photo on that gray paper for my journaling. I just felt like that was a good spot for the journaling, and that was sort of like my plan all along, so it worked out well. I was sort of thinking I would add a third cluster at the bottom, and I kind of started to play with it a little bit, and then I thought, no, I think that with the journaling it's going to be enough. So you'll notice in the still shots that I add a few little enamel dots, and I think that's about it. So this layout's almost done. It was super quick. Thanks so much for watching today. I really appreciate it, and thanks so much for subscribing. It means a lot to me. I hope you have an amazing day. Come again another day for another video. Bye-bye.